What's good, YouTube? Welcome to Draft Capital Sports. For the knowledgeable football fan who hopes their team always has a plan, we are about to
bear down
and get into what in the world is happening with the Chicago Bears as they have fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron and seem to be blaming their slow start to the season and problems on offense on the offensive coordinator. But is Shane Waldron totally to blame? We're going to get into it. But before we get started, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to make sure you stay locked in to Draft Capital Sports, where we provide all the NFL draft news, NFL offseason news, trades, etc. for your 2024 NFL offseason. Now let's get back to the video. So the Chicago Bears fired Shane Waldron. Now Waldron was hired to replace Luke Getsy after the 2023 season, but lasted only 9 games with the Bears. In that time, they ranked 9th worst in the NFL in points per game at 19.4, 3rd worst in yards per game at 277.7, and passing yards per game 169.6, and 9th worst in rushing at 108.1. And they promoted Thomas Brown, the passing game coordinator, to offensive coordinator, even though those stats show that the passing game has been inept. Now, is that all Thomas Brown's fault? No. Is that all Shane Waldron's fault? No. They do have 3 very good wide receivers, 2 very good tight ends, 1 Pro Bowl caliber tight end for sure, as well as 2 Pro Bowl caliber wide receivers, 1 probably going to the Hall of Fame for sure. Yeah, they have a lot of weapons on offense, but somehow the GM, who's an offensive lineman, wannabe offensive lineman himself, just didn't shore up that offensive line, even though we saw that last season Justin Fields became one of the greatest running quarterbacks of all time because he had to run for his life because the offensive line was not only not very good, he only had 2 weapons, 1 receiver, 1 tight end who are still on the team. Now, I think the main problem with Chicago Bears is development. They have a serious problem developing players. I don't know why they're so quick to fire head coaches and GMs and coordinators and things like that, because there seems to be this expectation that they're going to have a winning team sometime soon. Now, where that expectation comes from, I don't know, because again, they do not develop players. Now, the Carolina trade for the number 1 pick a few years ago did put them in a great position, but I'll do another video on Ryan Poles and the ownership at a later date as to how they did not maximize the value of that position. However, they have to at some point stick with what they hire and stick with their decisions and go through the losing seasons and allow development and continuity in the organization, in my opinion. Okay, when you draft a rookie quarterback, and we're going to get into the rookie quarterback that Shane Waldron had to work with, you have to have patience, especially since you didn't really plan for the rookie quarterback to develop underneath a better quarterback for a long period of time. The rival up north has done this repeatedly, and somehow the Chicago Bears don't get the hint that maybe they should try that approach. Now, do I think Shane Waldron was a very good offensive coordinator? No, I don't. Do I think he was decent? Yes, I do. Do I think he is the main reason that the Bears are struggling? No, I don't. The main reason that Chicago Bears are struggling is the quarterback. And the quarterback is a rookie quarterback. Yes, he was the number 1 pick. That does not change anything about him being a rookie quarterback from a program at USC that does not play top competition. All right. Yes, he had a lot of media hype, and a lot of players have a lot of media hype, and they fail, right? And the truth of the matter is, with Caleb Williams, a lot of fans, I have a gift for you all that love Caleb Williams and thought he was going to be great. On the screen right now, you all drank the Kool-Aid. Yes, that's what happened. Because if you watch his film, you knew that this guy was going to need development. Not saying he can never be good at football in the NFL. He could be. But to think that he was going to come in and be a star player on this team in this situation that you set him up in, with a defensive head coach and a brand new offensive coordinator on a brand new team where nobody on the offense knows the offensive system that they're going to be running, no matter how good they were in the past. Everybody's coming into a new offense with a rookie quarterback and a suspect offensive line. Somehow you thought that was going to work. You absolutely were drinking the Kool-Aid and being a little bit naive. Now, I had done a video, or a couple videos, I believe, scouting Caleb Williams and comparing him and his statistics and level of competition. And let me say one thing. The number one thing I think people miss out on when they're scouting rookies coming into the season and college players is the level of competition and what they had around them to compete and who they were competing against. And this is something people just kind of overlooked with Caleb Williams. I covered in that video. The link will be in the description, and at the end of this video, you can click on that link after this one. So Caleb is definitely having a rough time of it. So if we look at this post here by the 33rd team on Twitter, Caleb Williams has the worst completion percentage on throws of 15 plus yards of any QB in any season over the past 15 years. He currently ranks 468th out of 468. His pressure to sack ratio. This is basically how many times he's pressured versus how many times he can escape or gets hit with the sack. Now, this is not in total control. This is more an indictment on the offensive line, but it's also an indictment on the QB's awareness and getting rid of the football on time. Also having somebody to throw the ball to, people who are open. If you look at the videos that I'm showing up here, Caleb misses a lot of gimme throws. He misses a lot of them. So he ranks dead last in that category. Okay, so when he's pressured, most of the time he's going down for the sack, and it is because he holds the ball too long. Again, with 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers, Pro Bowl tight end, possibly a third Pro Bowl young wide receiver, great running back. He just has too many weapons to have this kind of statistic. And when you watch his tape from USC, a lot of the highlights where you see him running around and escaping and then making a throw downfield was not because his offensive line broke pressure right away. It was because he was holding the ball until pressure broke down, was able to escape and make a good throw. And that's fine in sandlot football or, at recess and things like that in elementary school. In the NFL, that does not work. It doesn't work, especially when you have all these weapons who are expecting you to get rid of the ball on time. Keenan Allen is not used to this, so he's going to struggle with this, all right? Justin Fields and DJ Moore were developing a chemistry. Justin Fields and Cole Kmet were developing a chemistry. Cole Kmet could get throws from Justin Fields. For some reason, he cannot get them from Caleb Williams, and I don't think it's the offensive coordinator. It's Caleb Williams is not looking to throw the ball to the tight end. He's looking downfield, and then he's checking it down, and he's missing the check down most of the time. He's throwing it wide for whatever reason, can't throw short. And to his defense, he wasn't asked to do a lot of that at USC. They were throwing the ball downfield a lot, which is why Cliff Kingsbury should have been a hired OC, but I'll get into that when I get into the Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus video. But something that shows that he's just an inaccurate thrower right now is the catchable throw rate, right? He's last in that since 2021, all right? This is minus screens and gimmies. If screens were included, honestly, if you're watching the games, you know that he would be even lower. You know what I'm saying? His percentage would be lower because he misses screens a lot too, especially the out screens. And again, I don't think he was asked to do that a lot at USC, and that comes from development, which means if he sat for a year and was allowed to develop, he would be able to work on those throws and work on those things that he was not asked to do in college and maybe be a better quarterback. Do I think he was ever going to be a star quarterback? I didn't before the draft, and I don't now, because he's playing pretty much like I thought he would. I'm just going to be honest. So, the reason for the Waldron hire was because my guess is that he led Geno Smith to improve and kind of save his career, so to speak, right? Waldron was the OC as Seattle wasn't great on offense, but they were very good with a guy who was on a scrap heap in Geno Smith as far as a quarterback is concerned. They had some of the same offensive line struggles that the Bears are having and have had. So Waldron, though he wasn't great in Seattle, he was able to run a pretty decent offense. So here with the Chicago Bears, he is being scapegoated here. because he didn't hire himself, just like Caleb Williams did not draft himself #1. So to kind of totally blame them for their performance is not 100% fair, and it's really ignoring the real problem with the Chicago Bears, and that is in the leadership. And no, I'm not going to get to ownership yet. In the next video, we're going to talk about Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles. King Poles, huh? Yeah, King Poles. We're going to get into that in the next video. Check out the scouting video about Caleb Williams, comparing Caleb Williams to Justin Fields and just Caleb Williams in general to quarterbacks and how you should really go about developing quarterbacks. Check out either one of those two videos or both. Like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching as always. We out.